Cool. Okay, so it doesn't show because it has no material on it. You all know materials from Unity? Like a material is something you add to a 3D object, and then you can add textures to the material, and the material goes into a 3D object. So the way it works is, I don't have that on screen, but you have a texture. So this will be, you all remember what textures there were? There was albedo. Anyone have another texture or a map? What? Albedo and diffuse are pretty much the same thing. Diffuse is just the old way called the albedo. Pretty much the same. They're slightly different, but it's almost the same. Anyone else? Any other maps? Yeah, like we could use a height map. What was the other one that tricks light and looks like it's got details? I don't remember that. Normal map. So let's just say these two for now. And then because it's PBR, there is metallic / smoothness, because Unity does both of them at the same time. And let's say we could have emission, whatever. There's loads of stuff. But let's just use these three for now. And it goes to a material. And in Unity, it's like a circle. In pretty much everything, it's a circle. So these textures go into the material. And that material is applied onto whatever the model is. So don't care what it looks like. But there's a model that uses the material, and the material uses these textures. Is that cool? All right. So right now, the box isn't showing anything because it has no material applied to it. All right, we're using a texture to unwrap, but the box itself doesn't know that, if that makes sense. So we need to assign a material to the box that ideally has our texture. So if you just hit M, this shows up. If this shows up, it's cool. Just go to modes and go to compact. Everyone get that? Cool. Alright, you can see there's a diffuse one right here. So to assign a model, let me just assign it, just click and drag and snap it onto the box. So you can see it's using that gray color now. Cool. And I could just change the diffuse color in here. Let's go like, that just changes the color of it. But I want to use my texture. So I'll go to this little square, and every time you see this little square, this like blank square in 3ds Max, it means you can make a selection there from something. So click on that one next to diffuse. And again, the same kind of thing shows up. It's like, oh, what do you want to look for? And I want to look for a bitmap. We're pretty much always looking for bitmaps. So you probably want to put in the box texture. It still doesn't show up. Now this is one of those annoying things, which I said, there's a lot of stuff in Max from the olden times that are still in there. And this one needs to be this show shaded material in viewport. You need to click on that before it shows. And that's from the old times because it costs GPU power to render the texture. So until you really needed it, they didn't render it for you. But like nowadays it's fine. So just show the shaded material and you should be able to see it. And then we're done with the material editor. We can close that. In Unity, we'll add much more complex materials, but for now, we just need to see the texture. Does that work for everyone? Huh? So you all should be like this, because it's not unwrapped properly, because we haven't unwrapped it properly. So I'm just going to select this polygon again. I just want to show you. So I have this. You see the way I'm using a different texture. Yeah. So I can use a completely different texture in the unwrap than whatever materials on the model. To make it easier for yourself, it probably should be the same texture. So let me just pick the texture, same one. Cool. All right, cool. So I'm selecting this. This is a new annoying thing in 2018. Even though I'm selecting this one, when I hover over it, it allows me to select other polygons. It's very annoying. But either way, if you click on the actual polygon, it should select the polygon. Can you see it changing in real time there? Right? So that's basically what I mean. Like this polygon that I've had here is going to pick up whatever part of the texture I place it over. So if I place it over here, it's going to pick up that. And again, I can resize it So if I size it up bigger, it takes more of the texture in. I can take everything. I can even tile it. I shouldn't, but you can. Or I can make it really small and just pick up a tiny corner over here. It's whatever I want. Okay, so I need to decide how to do it. Controls in here are the same, WER. Sometimes they don't work, but you can just click them up here as well. They don't work because of some weird keyboard thing. I think they fixed that, but they may not have. So I'm just going to resize this polygon to fit in my wooden area. So it uses as much of the wooden areas as I can get, so it's higher resolution, right? So you'll sometimes see something in student projects where, like, if this is the texture, the wood part is like all this big, and then there's only a tiny little metal part. So the wood part is super high res because it's a huge part of the texture, and then the metal part is really stretched. It looks terrible, and that's because it's only using a tiny bit of texture. So part of the difficulty we have is making sure, kind of when you're creating the texture for your model, you know how big the areas are gonna be when you use them, because you're like, oh, the wood area is quite large, so it needs to be quite large in the texture because it's going to use a lot of detail. So, so you can see I've sized that to look that you guys probably are you all doing this yet? Oh, okay, that's fine. There is a problem because I didn't tell you. No, see if I click one, the problem's not that. If I move this, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm scaling. If I move this, you see the way it's still connected to the polygons around it? See that lines?
Yeah.
Those are the other little polygons in there. They're still connected. And that's a problem because that means whenever I move this, it's stretching all of them as well. And all of them are taking whatever texture is in that stretched area. So I need to separate that polygon away. So I need to be like, this polygon, I just want to deal with you by yourself. There's loads of ways to do it. The quickest way for us today is we do something called a quick peel, and it's in the peel, and here there is a quick peel.
Should we undo what we just did?
Yeah, probably, because you probably have stretched polygons.
Do you want it to look like the top one?
The top one? No, not like that. If I click on the top one, right, I'm using polygon selection. I'm going to quick peel it, because if I don't quick peel, it stretches any polygons it's still connected to. So what a quick peel will do is it basically separates it out by itself. Now, a quick peel works great because this is just a square. So 3ds Max will go, oh, you just want to count this square? No problem, here's the square. If it's a much more complex object, say like a character, you can't use this as easily because 3ds Max may not understand what you want. So I'm just going to quick peel this, and when I quick peel, you can see that I can now move it around by itself. Yeah, it's all its own individual polygon now because I peeled it. Is that okay? And then I can resize it down to fit to the wood area. You should be able to do it for all of them at the same time. You should be able to. Control click will select. Yes.
When I press the quick peel, I only want to those squares on the mark thingy.
Okay.
If the deselect, we don't even have it. So I do this.
Yeah.
I run out of windows as well.
What did you set the reduce to 500?
I forgot to save it.
This happens because
I want the other one.
It's only showing you what you're selecting. So if I don't select anything, that's not that. Wait, what? Your boxes?
What?
It's only showing you what you're selecting. It's yes. That's
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So instead of quickly, we're going to use paint. Quick painter map just basically cuts that photo. Okay, but because it's flat anyway, it's fine. You just do that. Did it work for everyone? We're doing okay? You can't. Did you turn off the selection in Edit Poly?
I don't know. I can't go back to Edit Poly like there's no warning.
Yeah, just ignore the warning. Go back to Edit Poly and see if there's a selection on.
Yeah, it's on Polygon.
Yeah, shouldn't be on Polygon. Should turn off all selections in Edit Poly. Okay, so is anyone having any issues with that? No? Everyone's good? Cool.
Yeah, to a few steps back from get it to what is it 0 to the object.
You can't get it to what, sorry?
I must have missed a step because I was trying to follow along there. We pull this in here. So to get down to the macro object itself.
Oh, that's the material thing. So you
Yeah.
hit M.
Yeah. And then I brought up that here.
The image there.
And then map. Just take bitmap and that.
Yeah, it's always a bit that's like geodetic use and all that. And then that on to that. Cool. And then turn on and show you that works.
No, it's really intuitive.
Yeah. There you go.
Something's
Thanks.
No problem. There's no blinds or anything, is there? We can pull. It's very, very bright here. Oh, there are. Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Cool.
Oh, it's good.
So, but it looks way better. At least you can see now. Cool. That's amazing. Now I can't select stuff. That's great. Oh my god. A scale maybe? Yeah, now I can. Is everyone on 2018 or 2019? Yeah, okay. 18 seems to be kind of buggy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Once we've got all the, sorry?
I have a problem with the rest of them. They're also like attached together.
Attached together.
I did in the top one.
So, some people are finding a problem, and it's, I'll confess, I still haven't figured out why Max does this. Sometimes when you select a lot of polygons, and you quick field them, it tries to arrange them aside from each other. We actually don't want that in this case. You can do a quick planar map, so if I do that, try to see if the planar map works. Okay, so the planar map is this yoke over here, planar map. And what a planar map is, it grabs whatever surface you're selecting and kind of like takes a picture of it, which again in our case it's fine because it's flat. So we just get a flat picture, which is exactly what we want. Again, it's problematic if I have like a 3D model. Like imagine if I take a picture of someone's face and just squash it flat. So it can be problematic. But for stuff like this, it's good. So that's the other option. It does exactly the same thing. It just peels out that polygon you're selecting, but it just kind of takes a flat picture of it. That's here, planar map. In fact, let's do it for all of them. So quick peel works for me, but you can also planar map. Of this.
Even with planar map, I'm having problems with it. It's not.
Really? What do you mean by matched up?
Do you have any scaled
I can do it. I can planar out and walk away.
So do you have you scaled it in to fit? Do what?
Oh, it is.
Oh. Base bar, by the way, will not select. So if you ever can't select something, check if space bar is on. Oh, wow. You can. Yeah, I don't really know what it is.
It was a new Julius Max thing that's designed to make it life easier. But isn't. So whoever's done with the inside parts, I'm going to go around to the metal parts and literally just like, for now, I'm just selecting the ones that I want. Oh boy, that's so not going to get annoying at all. Do we have to have the windows open? I can turn on the air conditioning. Can we close the windows and I'll turn the air conditioning? Thanks. So whoever's finished with those, you can just, we're going to do the frames, and for the frames, I'm just selecting that whole frame, and again, I can either do a quick peel or a planar map. Either will work. And if I quick peel, it kind of shoves out the frame. And that's why I made the texture like that, with like the metal around and the wood in the middle, because when I quick peel, it just creates that shape. If anyone's having any issues, let me know. You okay? Cool.
What room did like the wee bits in the?
In the middle.
Yeah.
So there's two options. One is we individually click on each one and do a little quick peel and add them where, you know, you can move them where you want them to be. Option number two, we ignore them. I like it too. Do you know what? Now you made me start it, so I have to do it. So once we get it unwrapped, I feel like it's time to take a little break, maybe. Yeah. Take like a 15-minute break. And you should have a ready-to-go box. At any time, if you want to kind of see how it's like a test render, you just do Shift Q, and it'll do a quick little render, and you can kind of see what it's gonna look like. Not great.